Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So a little while ago I was introduced to the wonderful world of Monster High through a video that I did where I watched all of the movies and ranked them. And in that video I said that I wanted to make a Monster High ship list because there are so many awesome ships in the franchise that these movies just made me fall in love with. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got some canon ships on here, I've got some non-canon ships on here. I do not discriminate, I love all ships, and so I'm really excited to talk to you guys about my favorites. And I feel like I should give a disclaimer that this list is mainly based off of the movies because I'm more familiar with the movies than the TV series. I did go back and watch a few episodes of the show to kind of get an idea of some of the ships that weren't featured in the movies or to learn more about the backstories of some of the ships that were, and so while I did watch some episodes, I'm definitely a bit biased to the movies, and so my list might be a bit more movie based, and I just wanted to let that be known. But before we jump right into it, this video is sponsored, so let's talk about that first. So this video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is a security tool that masks your IP address when you're online to help protect you and all of your information. The service utilizes the best-in-class encryption, so whenever you are connected to ExpressVPN, every piece of data going in and out of your device goes through a secure tunnel so it cannot be seen by anyone. Not by the government, not by hackers, not by your internet service provider, not even by ExpressVPN itself. So this means that you won't have to worry about your information being sold to ad companies or the government surveilling you and harvesting your data for their own agendas. So this is why I personally have been using ExpressVPN for years, as it helps protect me when I am online. But I've also been asked time and time again how I watch all of these international Disney Channel shows and movies, and so this is how. So since ExpressVPN has servers all over the world, I can just change my server location and then it opens up the door to all of these shows and movies from around the world. So for example, for me in Canada, BIA isn't available for streaming anywhere, but with ExpressVPN, I could just go to Disney Plus and switch my server location to France, and then I've got both seasons ready to go. And so that's the same for you guys in the US. I know you guys only have the first season, so I've been getting a lot of people asking me where they can watch season 2, and this is where. Just get ExpressVPN and then switch on over to France and you're good to go. So to find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free, just go to expressvpn.com/CaitlinMCK, or you can click the link in the description down below. Thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for checking them out, as it does really help out the channel a lot. Alright, with all that being said, let's jump right into number 10.
Kiyomi, these are my friends. Serena, Twyla, Rochelle, Claudine, and Draculaura. Hello. Kiyomi, you seem familiar to me. Have we met before?
No, I don't think so.
Are you okay, Kiyomi? You're turning green.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I've got to fly, but let's catch up before you leave. Nice to meet you all.
So at number 10, we have Kiyomi and Draculaura, and I'm actually a little bit ashamed to say that until I started making this video, I completely forgot about this ship. But what I did for research for this video is I went back to the notes that I took when watching these movies to see which ships I liked. And so for the haunted notes, I had written down that Draculaura and Kiyomi were in love, and so I was just like, wait a second. Past me, I think you're onto something here. And so I went back and rewatched their scenes together in Haunted, and just, oh my goodness, are they ever in love. Basically, my headcanon is that Kiyomi had a crush on Draculaura, and so that's why she chose to haunt her at Monster High. Like, just think about it. Out of all of the kids at Monster High, she chose to haunt Draculaura. Why? Because she likes her, duh. And then don't even get me started about when they meet for the first time and Kiyomi gets all flustered, and then they just have so many cute interactions throughout this movie that I couldn't not include them on this list just because they are so adorable. I can just imagine them becoming friends, and then Draculaura asks Kiyomi why she chose her to haunt, and then she's just casually like, because I thought you were cute, and then they fall in love, and it would just be such a great story, and someone needs to write that for me, please. But yeah, that's Kiyomi and Draculaura. I just feel like they'd be so adorable together, and so that's why they are number 10.
Garrott, I feel the same way about Monster High. You promise to write?
Every day, ma chérie.
Next we have Rochelle and Garrott, and I mean, just talk about true love. Like, these two gargoyles are the definition of true love. And this is another one where I'm just so obsessed with their story that it just warms my heart. How they were so in love, but then when she moved to Monster High, she stopped hearing from him, and so she just assumed that he had moved on. But what I love so much about that scene on the plane where she's talking to Frankie about their history is that she still speaks so fondly about him, and you can really tell that she does still have feelings for him. But at the same time, she doesn't blame him for moving on or have any animosity towards him because of that, and I just think that that's so beautiful. But then the plot thickens because he didn't actually move on. He had just been kidnapped and held hostage for years, and so when they do reunite, it is just the most adorable thing. And then the ending, how he's just so chill with her, being like, I can't stay here, like I belong at Monster High. Like, their love is stronger than time and distance, and I just love that for them. I mean, I do wish we could have gotten to see more of them, but I do still feel like their story was just so beautiful as it was, and so that is Rochelle and Garrott.
Goya, I'm sorry. I know sometimes I take you for granted. I guess it's because you've always been there, but I want you to know how much your friendship means to me. Oh, my Gara's running!
Okay, so yes, this one might be a little bit controversial, but next I have Cleo and Ghoulia. Now, if you only like them as friends, that's chill. I like them as friends too, but I just personally feel like there's something about their bond that would translate so well if it was a more romantic relationship. For me, I think it's just the fact that Ghoulia is Cleo's right-hand gal. Like, through thick and thin, no matter what, Ghoulia has Cleo's back. And it's like, yeah, sometimes she takes advantage of that loyalty, but I still feel like at the end of the day, no matter what, Cleo does really love and care for her. And I feel like that's what makes their ship so special. Like, I know that their friendship is a little bit of a trope in terms of like tween media. Like, it's definitely something we've seen before where you have like the mean girl and then her best friend who is kind of like her sidekick, where she doesn't always treat her the best, but like no matter what, their bond is unbreakable. The first ones that come to mind for me are Ludmilla and Natty from Violetta, who I don't exactly ship, but like if someone else did ship them, I would get it because it is the same trope. But I'm currently watching Night Squad, so Sage and Buttercup also fit into that category, and so I see a lot of them in Ghoulia and Cleo, and so I feel like maybe that's why I'm a little bit more biased towards them, but I don't know, I just feel like they'd be so adorable together, and so I just can't help but ship it.
Hey, Ghouls! What are you doing over there by yourselves? Come hang with us!
That's okay. Thanks for the offer. I'm happy right where I am.
Maybe we should go over there.
Really?
Yeah, to be honest, it gets a little boring just hanging out with you. Kidding.
Now we have a ship that might not be canon, but in terms of like non-canon ships, I feel like this one definitely has one of the biggest followings, and that is of course Hoween and Twyla. I feel like anyone who has watched 13 Wishes like somewhat recently would agree with me in saying that these two have some serious chemistry. And what I love so much about them is that Twyla is literally Hoween's biggest cheerleader. Like in the beginning of the movie when Hoween is being all sad because she wishes that she was popular, like Twyla is right there being like, don't be sad, I like you for you, like who cares if you're popular? And I'm just like, hello, just ask her out already. Like, the love that these two have is unmatched, and I'm pretty sure that when I watched this movie for the first time, these two were only on screen for like 5 seconds, and I immediately started shipping them. I don't know what it is, but there's just some tension between these two that I can see, and so I just had to include them on this list.
What are you writing? A song?
I don't know, it's all just pouring out of me. Pharaoh, I think I found my music. I haven't felt inspired to write like this in a long time.
Coming in at number 6, we have Caddy Noir and Pharaoh from Boo York, Boo York, and these two are without a doubt one of my favorite parts of that movie. I just found their relationship and their storyline to be so adorable. How they connect over music and he helps her get inspired again, and their meet cute, how they sing and then run away from fans together and then bond. And then he's got this secret identity. Like, there's so many layers to them that just make me love them even more. There is also that scene though near the end where they're just like awkwardly singing to each other really close that like is a bit weird, but I still love it nonetheless. These two are just a match made in heaven, and I will never shut up about them, and so that's why they are number 6.
I'm sorry, Gil. I know you really liked me being a freshwater ghoul.
No. That's what my parents wanted you to be. I like you just the way you are.
Good! Because I'm gonna beat your fins off at the swim meet this weekend.
Alright, so we've got our first like main ship of this list, and that is of course Lagoona and Gil. And so they're an example of a ship that got together before the movies, and so I had to go back and find out what their origin story was, and it just made me love them even more. Basically, Lagoona was crushing on Gil, and then she was like doodling about their love in one of her notebooks, but then she lost her notebook, and then he found it, and then asked her out through it, and I'm just like, how cute is that? Well, he didn't technically ask her out, he was just like, meet me here, but still, like, that's how their story started, and I just feel like it's so adorable. And then they also have that whole like forbidden lovers thing going with Gil being a freshwater monster and Lagoona being a saltwater monster, and so their parents do not approve of them being together, but then they make it through. Like, against all odds, their love shines through. They're just so great. Like, every time they had screen time in the movies, I would just get so excited because I love them so much. I mean, I might be a little bit biased because Lagoona is one of my favorite ghouls, but like, nonetheless, they're still adorable and I love them, and so that's why they are on this list.
I feel terrible asking, but can you keep watching them?
It's what I do best.
Just please be careful. I don't want you to end up in any kind of danger. You know, like now, for instance? Twyla!
I'm okay. Whoa!
Okay, Okay, so listen, I know we don't like the reboot. When I made my last video, I was very new to the Monster High fandom and I was not aware about the disgrace that the reboot was to the Monster High franchise. Now I am aware and I'm with you guys. Mattel tried to cheap out on the quality of the dolls with the reboot and got rid of so many good characters and ships, and I'm with you guys, we do not like. However, I will say one good thing that came out of the reboot was Frankie and Twyla. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if there is an age gap and I shouldn't be shipping it because I know in the original series Twyla is a bit younger than like the main Ghouls, but as far as the reboot goes, like I have no idea. I think that they might have aged her up a bit for the reboot because now she's like the same height as the other Ghouls, but like who knows, honestly. Either way, I think it's okay to ship them because they're both in high school, so that's like around the same age, you know? One of my favorite things I've ever said on YouTube was in my last Monster High video where I said that Frankie saved Twyla because she was in love with her, just because I got so many comments being like, wait, they're in love? And I'm just like, yep, they are. Like, you guys don't need any explanation, like that's just facts. But yeah, I know that Frankie did actually have quite a few love interests in the franchise, but in my own personal opinion, nothing compared to the chemistry that she had with Twyla in this movie. The way that she protects her from the lightning and just the way that they interact with each other throughout this movie just screams dating, and so I will not apologize for shipping them, and so that is why they are number 4.
And we found what we've always known, that we are Cleo and Deuce.
And nothing changes that.
So I was not expecting to have Cleo and Deuce be this high up on this list because when I first got into Monster High, I didn't even like them. Well, no, I wouldn't say that I didn't like them, I just kind of felt indifferent towards them. They were just that couple that was always together and just, I don't know, I kind of found them boring, like they didn't really try that hard to make me ship them. But then when I was watching clips of them for this video, something just came over me and I was like, I love them, they're one of my favorites. Maybe it was Boo York because that was the movie that made me ship them in the first place, and so going back and rewatching scenes of them together in that movie just reminded me of how good their storyline was, how Cleo's family didn't approve of him and how he just tried so hard to be perfect for her, and just, I don't know, they're just so cute. Or in 13 Wishes when the spell is broken and they're reunited again. I feel like they definitely have a bit of a rocky relationship, just like with how many times they break up and get back together in the series, but like that's just what makes them them, you know? They're fun. And then don't even get me started on the scene I included for this video where they kiss and then the little snake kisses her forehead, like that just killed me. And so yeah, I guess I'm a new Cleo and Deuce shipper through and through, and I'm proud of that.
Oh, can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive.
Fantasies. It's okay to have them.
You are the most amazing guy I've ever known. I wish there was something Oh, here's a stick. Ready?
But when fantasies get in the way of what's real, you gotta let them go.
We hope you like the party.
Okay, so similarly to Cleo and Deuce, I was not expecting to have Claude and Draculaura be this high up on the list, but then when I went back and rewatched the ending for Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, I just fell in love with them even more, which is saying something because I already did love them quite a bit. And this is another ship that got together beforehand, and so I really enjoyed going back and seeing how they did get together and how Claudine was just like so against it, but their love just shined through. Also, can we talk about their height difference in the 2D animation, because it's one of my favorite things about them. It's such a big gap, but they just make it work. You can just tell how much Claude loves her, like in Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love when he's trying so hard to get the perfect gift for her and he's coming up with all these really thoughtful ideas, or in the ending of that movie where they're going through their memories together, or in Frights camera action where Draculaura has to leave and they're both freaking out about being apart for 7 days. Like, the love that these two have is just so pure. And I also love how in Fright On, when they're dealing with like the animosity between the werewolves and the vampires and like what that meant for their relationship and how they power through, they also have a little bit of that like star-crossed lovers going on with them as well, and it's just, they're just perfect and I love them so much. Like 10 out of 10, they're a great ship, definitely my second favorite.
You're just full of surprises, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess. Well, here's one more.
Oh, Porter!
I thought you might be able to use this. You know, for writing. Do you like it? All right then. Cool. I'm okay.
Alright, so I'm sure that this comes to no surprise to you guys, as I'm pretty sure I said in my last video that Spectra and Porter are my favorite Monster High ship, and so they just had to be number 1. And I might be a little bit biased because Haunted is my favorite Monster High movie, but nonetheless, these two are just everything to me. I love these two since the moment they bumped into each other in the hallways of Haunted High, up until she kisses him on the cheek at the end of the movie. Like, their storyline was just handled to perfection. How Porter was this bad boy who just couldn't be tamed, and then Spectra comes around and he just falls head over heels. They have so many good moments together in this movie, like when he doodles that picture of her, or when they're in detention together and he scoots his desk closer, or his little banter about them being a duo. Like, I just love these two with my whole heart. I will say though, part of me does feel like I kind of wish that Spectra could have given Porter more credit in a way, if that makes sense. Just because he did so much for her in this movie, like taking on all those chains himself and then restoring that desk for her. Like, I kind of wish we could have gotten to see her repay him back for that in this movie, but I have no doubt that like somewhere down the line she would, and so that's why I'm okay with it, because I just feel like that's the type of ghoul she is. Haunted really said, hold my chains, I'm about to give you guys the best ship in the whole franchise, and they really did. I love these two with all my heart, and so that is why they're without a doubt my favorite ship from Monster High. But I want to know which ship is your favorite, so don't forget to let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to read all about it. Anyways, Cater Tots, that is all I have to say for today. I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.